And are you feeling now that you don't have to move your seat up and down when you get
well,
to...
that was a big problem with me, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Not with you so much, but I was always getting the Allen key out, dropping my dropper post down for the descents.
Yeah.
This way I can have it exactly how I want it. I don't have to mess around with it.
Hey guys, let's talk about droppers. Right, in this bike, and the same with Sonias, obviously these are custom bikes, so they've got like a 15-inch, which is super low standover, even though they've got the long reach, so it's like a long bike with a super low standover. Now what we wanted to do with this, and the reason we had this customization done, is so that when you're going downhill, you can put the post right down and it's out of the way. But with it being so low, and me having to run, well, I'm running a 170 post right now, this Crank Brothers one, you kind of don't reap the rewards, because as you can see, this thing's got to be out literally as far as it will go, and then it's got to come out that far for me to use it on the uphills. And I'm not a super tall rider, I'm 5'10", so the only way we can really reap the rewards of these super low bikes is two very long droppers. After a bit of searching, we found two companies willing to help out and willing to send two long droppers. One from Germany, one from America. Let's see what we got. First to come up with the goods, this is a company called PNW. Now, some of you may have heard of this company with the lever they've got for the droppers that they sell separately, called the Loam lever. And this thing has had great reviews. So they sent us their brand new 200mm dropper. So obviously 30mm more than that, that means I can put that post 30mm lower into the frame. I'm going to be running this one, and then Sonny is going to be running, let me show you the other one. This is called the Vecnum Nivo. Now this thing, this is the German one, by the way, the other one is the American one. So this thing is actually amazingly, I can't open it right now, but I will do. This is 212mm. I mean, this has to be one of the longest posts I've ever seen. And apparently, I mean, it's got a super low stack, which is that bit there, which is basically the bit that sits above your seat tube, so it's not like really long there, and apparently one of the lightest in its class. So it's kind of, we're not going to do this as a shootout, we just want to showcase these two posts, and we're going to be testing them over a good amount of time and see how they perform. So firstly, let's talk about looks. The PNW, I mean, both of them, as you can see, they're both black. They both, this one, although I haven't opened it yet, looks like it's got a black inner, like the inner sort of stanchion type bit that comes out. They've both got the sort of dual bolt system on the top, very similar. And lengthwise, yeah, you can see you have probably, if I put them next to each other, so that's level at the top. Yeah, you can see the Vecnum, although the main shaft base is quite a lot lower here. If you look at the PNW, this bit, the mechanism is actually longer, so there's not actually that much difference, maybe 5mm longer on the Vecnum. So a bit more on looks. If we look at the PNW, you've got this nice black and white laser etched collar here. Obviously the collar, the stack is a bit higher on the PNW. And then with this Vecnum, on its collar, you see it's got these white, they're actually rubber, so you can change them, and it comes with, as you can see, tons of different colours that you can change to match your bike. I like that, that's a nice touch. So let's weigh these things and see the difference, shall we? Right, firstly, PNW we have 618 grams. Right, okay. Now the Vecnum. Wow, big difference. So the Vecnum, 513, 100 grams lighter. That's a massive difference. Wow. So should we compare the levers? Obviously both of these are cable actuated. The Vecnum does come, you can get it either indexed or infinite. So infinite is what most of you would be used to, where it will stop wherever, but index means I think it's got like 4 or 5 different places it will stop on the way up. That's a bit old school like they used to be, but we've gone for the infinite. Let's look at the levers. So this is the lever for the Vecnum, very simple. Yeah, so you got the collar. Very simple little collar there, and it fits on to the collar. I think they maybe do this so that it can fit onto like Shimano levers, etc. Not sure about that, but yeah, one looks like one little main bearing in the middle. You've got this barrel adjustment here. Don't even know which end of the cable you get on these. This looks like it actually has the is it the open? Yeah, you got the open end here of the cable. Okay, so that's that one. Now let's look at this. I know about this because we've been running a loam lever anyway on my hardtail. This is a nice bit of kit, I've got to say. So the loam lever, this is grey. Grey is massive bearing, huge bearing, very similar. You've got these 2 holes obviously for different distances away from your thumb. Nice rubber thumb bit there for your grip. The other one is aluminium. Also barrel adjustment, just the same. And it looks, yeah, this one is also for the open end, but nice 3mm Allen key bolt there, so nice and solid. Should we see what the other one was in millimeters? Are these smaller? Yeah, these look like 2mm. Got to admit I prefer the 3mm because you got a lot less chance of rounding those nuts off. Now the interesting thing about the Vecnum when you get it is they ask you what size clamp you've got, and then they even send you their own super lightweight seat clamp. All these things have their cost. So you've got the seat clamp, and also they ask you the size. Different to a lot of other droppers is you don't get different size droppers. You have the 30.9, and then you get shims for if they're the 2 bigger sizes, which to me kind of makes sense really. Why produce 3 different sizes when you can produce 1 with different shims? With the PNW and its own loam lever, their mount, their lever is the interesting thing about this is it will fit. You can have it to fit SRAM, you can have it to fit iSpec, Shimano, or you can have it where it's its own separate collar like this. So that's also really funky thing about this post. PNW's loam lever also available in different colours. I'm guessing the colour is just of the rubber bit. So you've got orange, teal or grey. We've opted for the grey because obviously it goes along with our colour schemes. So if you add all the prices up of the separate bits, there is a large price difference. The Vecnum Nivo is coming in at £390, which is up there with the sort of price of some of the top posts that you're going to be normally buying over in the UK. The PNW Bachelor post coming in £226. That sounds like a bargain. So next thing is basically to fit one of them for now. I'm going to be running the PNW because Sonny tends to really move his seat up and down when he's riding, so I don't need it to go as far down, so he's having that extra 12mm, and I basically want to see how easy this thing is to fit. I'm not going to film the fitting, I'm just going to tell you what it was like when it's done. So 15 minutes later, this thing's fitted. It was absolutely no dramas at all. I left the external cable in from the last dropper just to make things easy, and it hadn't been in that long, so that I know it'd be fine. So I've put the internal cable in. Very impressed so far. The lever feel super lightweight. I mean, really light, along the lines of like the Fox. Just no effort needed. You haven't got lots of movement in this lever, sort of left and right. You know, you haven't got like a ball hit, so you can adjust it into the right position, but the position is absolutely fine as far as I'm concerned. Don't think you need to worry about that. But the light feel, and also it's almost got like a damped bump stop at the top. You know, some of them that are this kind of speed, they'll go donk. Well, this, if you listen now, it seems to kind of slow up right at the end of the stroke. Listen. See what I mean? It doesn't go donk, it sort of goes if you like that impression. So this one now, get out on the trails and we'll get testing it. Just got to fit Sonias, fit the Nivo, and compare the two. We fitted this similar to the one, 15 minutes. Sonias is actually here, so feels good, doesn't it? It feels a little bit notchy. It feels like it's like loads of little tiny notches.
Feels like it's got like a few settings in it, or maybe
like ridges.
Only because we just pull it in. But
let's have a look at the levers. Pretty nifty. It's nice and short. Obviously, you can have it either side. Wasn't that keen on the fact it hasn't got a split there, so you've got to take your grip off, or if you have it that side, you've got to take your grip and your lever off. But it was simple enough to fit. The whole thing kind of similar to the PNW. And
also, shorter lever means less movement, doesn't it? So you get them long levers, you have to...
It's a nice light movement, isn't it? It's not,
it's nice and light.
Heavy. Okay, so fast forward 24 hours. Been to the Forest of Dean, given this thing the first initial test. So always on any test you want to know first impressions. You know, what's it like to the other stuff compared to the other stuff you've been using. Fantastic. The lever is so light, so positive, so soft to use. Still, obviously, you know, after this first ride, I mean, listen to that. It's quiet, it's damped at the end of the stroke. So for this bike, we leave it now, we ride it for 3 months, and we see what the PNW is like. So we've just been on a ride, Sonny and I. This is probably 3 weeks after fitting them, would you say?
Yeah, 3 or 4 weeks.
So Sonny, like we said, was using the Vecnum, the 212. What are your first impressions?
I've had no problems with it so far. Thing I do like about it is the short lever. With the short lever, you've got actually less pushing for it to work, instead of more levering on a longer one.
What about the amount of you have to push it? You know, amount of force you have to use to push it. Super soft. It's just
minimal. I mean, it's like it's such a quick trigger. You've also got these notches built in, so you can have it at different stages. Not that it's going to drop if you don't get it in that notch.
Yeah. They're like millimeters almost, aren't they?
Yeah. If you do it,
it's good.
It's not something that's
slightly damped, isn't it?
It's slightly damped. It's not something that's going to hit you.
Yeah.
Straight in the behind, like a few of them out there.
And are you feeling now that you don't have to move your seat up and down when you get to...
that was a big problem with me, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Not with you so much, but I was always getting the Allen key out, dropping my dropper post down for the descents.
Yeah.
This way I can have it exactly how I want it. I don't have to mess around with it. So far this month's been absolutely brilliant. We're gonna get back to you in a couple of months' time when we've done a full long-term review. Is it going to stand up? If it does, it'll be brilliant. It's been tested and rode at so many different tracks, in loam, in sandy stuff, and the good old famous Canuck that wrecks bikes. It'll chew anything to death. It's still operating. I haven't had to do one thing to it. I haven't adjusted a cable or anything like that, and it's still actually working perfectly. With it being a 212mm and my weight on it, I was a bit dubious because I tend to wear the back bushes out on most dropper posts, and you get loads of play in and then they score down the back. There's no play in this post. It's been
left to right when you move.
That's just
a teeny bit like you get on every post.
That's exactly the same as, you know, most other posts you get. There's none actually in the thing itself. I mean, for the length of it, it's something that you can put in lots of bikes with a very low standover. With hydraulic operated dropper seat posts, you sometimes get the problem when back at home it gets really cold, they don't work. You come out abroad, it's really hot, they don't work. But with this cable operated, it just ticks all the boxes for me, and I will be putting one of these on my hardtail.
So the PNW, this is the one I've been sporting, exactly the same, all that stuff with Sonny, lots and lots of riding. You know, any of you regular watchers know that I do tons of riding, and this has been faultless. This out of America, you have to remember this is like £100 cheaper than every other dropper out there, pretty much, except for these like super budget ones. The loam lever has to be the most comfortable, sturdy lever on the market. I have taken it apart once and sort of re-greased it just to see what it was like, because I was told that these are the quickest ones to service yourself, and literally you can service it, believe it or not, in 5 minutes. You can have this out, undo the cable at the bottom, dead easy, take it apart, re-grease it in about 5 minutes. So myself with this, super happy. Same as Sonny, this is a 200mm, it's slightly shorter but then it's a lot cheaper. It's a bit heavier than his, but then his is a lot more expensive. So we're not going to say which is best because they're both really good. It's just more about, is a long dropper reliable, or can they be reliable? And these two, yeah, totally, really impressed. I'm going to get on to PNW and see if they'll sort us out for the future, because I'm really happy with these. Thanks for watching this vlog on these super long droppers. I hope you liked it. Check out the description for any of our sponsors and also any of our affiliate links. Keep it pinned.